let me rephrase that. How do teachers help you when you're at the top of a class, when they're also trying to help people at the bottom of the class? Or how do teachers help you when you're at the bottom, when they're also trying to help people at the top? Or how do you feel if you're in the middle, which is where most of us are most of the time, when teachers are trying to help the people at the top or the bottom?
Yesterday, or it was 3 days ago, where my class was split to people who were like C and below, and A and B, and it was, I don't know, it's like we had the some like student person helping us, like one of the better people, and then they had the teacher, so we weren't being taught as well, and I was being C.
Yeah.
I had a different experience. Like my teacher, she helped those who really needed her help, and for those who did, who already knew what they were doing, they kind of were on their own.
Were they doing something useful, do you think, or?
Yeah, because the teacher had given us directions, and then some kids didn't get it, and some kids did. So the kids who got it were doing it, and the kids who didn't get it, the teacher went to them.
So what did she do with those kids? Do you know?
I guess she went step by step, a little bit slower.
What do you do in a classroom when it's too easy?
Slack off.
You slack off?
I mean, if you get the curriculum and you know what they're teaching, there's no point in trying to get it more than you already do. You know, if you're like an A+ student and you already know exactly what you're doing, then why learn more than what you could possibly learn?
I mean, sometimes you'll try and exceed, but really you start slacking because, I mean, if you already know like what's being covered, you only really have to do like enough to pass because you already
kind of like what he does is if you get it like a little bit, he comes over and he'll help you get it more. If you don't get it at all, he's just like, oh, I don't know how to help you because like I just explained it. If you don't get what I'm explaining, then like you're stuck. So like I don't know. It's like once you get.
And so what he would need to do to change that experience for you is what?
Well, if he would just like kind of like, I don't know, if he would just like try to explain it to me, like one-on-one or something, maybe that would work.
Right, for your level. Right? Who thinks their regular courses are generally been too easy for your academic intellectual level? Okay.
Because like my non-AP classes have really been based on like the teacher wants us all to get A's, and like half the students are just completely unmotivated, so they just dumb down the course so that the kids can get A's.
Well, that's his experience in this class.
I thought for certain classes, like I think they dumb it down, but it's like they have like a reason for doing it. Like I know last year when I was taking health, I was like, oh my god, like I had Mr. Pennell, and he was such a good teacher, but he would like repeat the same thing, and I was always like, oh, this is so easy. But like I still know all that stuff now because we like would learn it different ways every day, and I like remember all of it. And like you put me in the woods right now, I think it's fine.
It's fine.
I'm down for like all of us, but like I was in that health class too. Like there are people in there who was not like going down.
Have you guys in your time at Grant had any experiences where you felt like, I mean, the fancy teacher term is differentiation, where there's 2 or 3 audiences or 4 audiences in a class and the teacher's teaching to like 3 or 4 different levels? Or do you feel, or has it felt like always teaching levels? Give me some examples.
Class, lots of students were getting concepts, 5 or 6 were not, and they were way behind, and the teacher would go back and slow the entire class down to teach to those 6 students. And he said it was extremely boring because he would get done with his work, sit there, and not do anything.
I feel like that's the teacher, because I took philosophy last year with Mr. Gavitt, and his class was a lot of work for like a philosophy class. We would write like 120 pages for the whole single semester or something like that. Like, it just really depends on the teacher.
For last year's chemistry, I feel like, I think Mr. Wilson, because I didn't feel he did a really good job of teaching the different levels, because there were, like, I know that there was...
So Mr. Wilson does a good job of teaching.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Okay. Interesting, okay. What about Mr. Wilson works?
Because he teaches, like, he gives you the material, but then he also, like, kind of brings it around in a way that, like, he brings the like, complicated material around in a way that's more simple, so you understand it better. But then for, like, the students that need that, they get it, and the students that understand higher, like, understand,
He does
comprehend
like a
more,
lot of
like,
different activities to like, to cater to like different kinds of learners, like he'll do PowerPoints and labs and like drawing activities, and he'll do a bunch of different.
So lower end can grab it, middle can grab it, higher end gets something extra.
Yeah.
That's good, that's excellent feedback from Mr. Wilson.
And you know how he uses the sticks? He does note cards and he does them all the time. Like probably every day, like
Yeah.
he's involving everyone in the class. And,
You like it when it's there's an A option and a B option?
classes where like for projects, they give you options, like this is the C option, this is the D option, but they didn't give us like what would be an A. They'd be like, you have to just do beyond the B to get an A. It's like, well, it's like, well, I don't know.
You don't understand
What
what-
to do for an A, I don't.
He would, when we would be learning big concepts, he would kind of, instead of being like, this is like the title of like the act, he would kind of say, this is what it was about, and like, how does this relate to like life now, and how did this, and like, it really helped me kind of remember it, because I remember like, oh, this is not just like the name of this, but like, this is what happened, this is how this would affect this, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know, I thought it was really,
So
really
the
helpful.
degree that a teacher can make instruction relevant is gonna help. Go ahead.
one other thing, just like including all the students and everything. I know classes where people would fall asleep and the teacher doesn't make a comment, and students are just on their phone, listening to music the whole time, and the teacher just kind of lets that happen because that's not like the priority of that one student, but just like keeping everyone even like focused on like school.